8-month-old Maltipoo Shih Tzu. My goodness. I've never had a challenging puppy in over 20 years. I'm stumped. Not sure how to fix. Communicates by barking at me for everything, which annoys my husband. Annoys me too. Barking makes me like tense.
Yeah, makes you a bit anxious.
Yeah. I've told her no, quiet, closed her mouth, told her no at the same time, I'm guessing, and she's just not getting it. None of my other dogs have ever barked like this. She just doesn't stop. Okay.
I think there's a lot of, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to answer the question. You go right ahead.
All right. I think there's a lot of different ways of valuing a no, and it sounds like your no isn't carrying enough value to your puppy yet.
That's a good way to put it.
How do you give value to a no? You have to do something that works for your puppy. Personally, I think in that situation, my puppy would be dragging around a leash on a harness. Anytime it was out of the crate, I think crate is another big one that you should give a shot to, because crate gives them more opportunity to rest and relax throughout the day. And it sounds like you have a cranky puppy. Cranky puppies are cranky children. If a child doesn't sleep enough throughout the day, they become cranky in many different situations.
Could be overstimulated. And I just want to refer back, she said 8 months old. So if you wanted to do a drag...
Adolescent dog, not so much puppy.
Yeah, so if you wanted to drag around a leash on a flat collar or do a slip leash, that would be fine too. At that age, it would be fine.
Make sure you're monitoring them though. You don't want to get caught under a door.
Supervised.
Yeah, always supervised. Yeah. But I would say that anytime you want to add that no to it, I might even try a week of not saying no, but just using leash pressure. And whenever my dog does the barking, I'll kind of create a little bit of leash pressure, push them away, step in to create a boundary. Because if this is you and this is your dog, when you create leash pressure and step in, it's going to make them back off.
It's supposed to.
Yes. Supposed to.
Sometimes
you have to push your puppies out.
We all want dogs that are sensitive to spatial pressure. They usually come to us sensitive to spatial pressure, and humans ruin it. So we want to make sure
by loving them.
Yes, by loving them. And so we want to make sure she's sensitive to spatial pressure. So teach place. And then when she teach place in a fun way, and then when she starts to step off place, move in with that same leash guidance that Sparky talked about to teach her to move backwards, retarget her body on place, get rewarded, and then that will filter into other parts of your life as well. You could also try a pet corrector. It squirts out air. It can sometimes just stop the dog. It interrupts that cycle of arousal, but that's not enough. That's like just a little Band-Aid, just to give you a moment to be able to redirect her.
Literally a moment, like one maybe 2 seconds of, come, sit, good, place. And I believe we have a couple videos on place on our YouTube channel. If you want to check those out, otherwise just YouTube place, like dog place, and you'll find quite a few videos on it.
Just one more thing I'd like to say, since we're talking about addressing bad behavior. What kind of environment do you think you reward at home? Do you reward a lot of cuteness and jumping up and running to and from and in and out of rooms and leaping on the couch and jumping up on you and petting her, you or your husband? Is that kind of the environment that you've rewarded? Because if it is, then it's not really fair to correct and say no for demand barking, because she's high excitement all the time, and you might have accidentally rewarded that, allowed that, things like that. So also think about being calmer when you work with her, more assertive, firm, good, calm tone of voice, and disagree with a lot of that other crazy stuff. You can play with her, but it shouldn't be on her terms. It should be on your terms. So let's just make sure we've got an environment that matches your expectations. And I've worked with some Maltese mixes, and they can be very, very challenging. So just keep that in mind. I'm not trying to sound like that what we just said is simple, or especially what I said about the environment. It's not always. So
would you minimize affection too?
Oh yeah, I would. Give it 2 weeks, like really minimize attention and affection, and work her brain more, and see what you get.
Everything is earned. Yeah. She wants to sit, and you want to give her a pet. She needs to do a 10-minute training session before you give her a couple minutes of affection. Yeah. And affection isn't rubbing, it's light, gentle, calm scratches.
Yeah. Not excitement oriented, basically. All right, let's move on to Candy Queen. This is from TikTok. Ugh, I have a mini Sheepadoodle puppy, and she's chewing up my entire house. Ugh, I need advice on this.
I like the energy.
I know, I felt like acting. So.
I gotta be honest, I didn't even hear the question. I was just focused on the energy. One more time.
So she's chewing up the entire house. I don't know how old she is. Mini Sheepadoodle. we'll assume it's like a puppy under 6 months old, need more management, more crate rotation, less availability to chew things up.
We prefer to be preventative rather than reactive. If you're always reactive, you're chasing your dog around the house. No. And
stressed out, please stop.
Yes, and when they don't stop, it makes you more stressed. You want to say no even more often. Usually when we say preventative, when she said crate management, I do like a block of free time after every crate rotation where I'll bring my dog out. I don't give them an hour to run around my house and go crazy. I do 10 minutes of walking, 10 minutes of training, 20 to 30 minutes of supervised separation, which is like a playpen, not Bethany's favorite, but she would prefer like place or just even let them.
I would prefer like tethered to you, yeah.
Personally, that is my favorite as well, but I think that sometimes people don't, it's not always super easy for you to tether a dog to and have them follow you around, but truly that's your best solution to teach them to follow rather than lead and bark at you from the playpen, because they will bark at you. That's why she doesn't like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, not to just, push your question off, you can start to add in some no's. If you listen to the question we just answered, it'll give you some other ideas on how to say no, but we also want to make sure you're setting your puppy up to succeed. So,
No has to have value. No value, no.
Yeah.
So anybody?
No value.
So clever.
No. It's so clever. You don't pat yourself on the back. You let someone else do. Good God. Be your biggest cheerleader. We were just talking about, we could just do life advice. Be your biggest cheerleader out there, people.
And don't tell your girlfriend that she looks tired.
Yes, we talked about that.
Yeah, Bethany said that was the wrong thing to tell her.
Men out there, don't tell women that they look tired. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay.
I would never.
All
right, I'm going to pull from this one. I think this is Instagram, that's TikTok.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're going to pull from Tilly the Doodle Pup. Tilly, welcome back. We got a couple from you. So how should we respond and help her be... Oh, I think it's the follow-up. Okay, sorry. Bear with me, guys. Morning braid. 6-month mini Goldendoodle has started barking and growling at people out front and on walks.
Uh-oh.
How should we respond and help her be okay seeing new people? She used to love people. I think maybe because she used to love them so much, there was a lot of pressure on her to say hi to people.
Drive, excitement.
Yeah. So maybe take that pressure off for a couple weeks. Instead of making her want to say hi to people, don't require that. Just walk past them, move her away from them, try to work her through situations where she feels like she needs to bark. We've talked about threshold in previous videos, so I'll do a really quick breakdown of it. Threshold means that's where your dog gets to, where they want to bark, pull, bite, whatever it is. You want to work them below threshold. So if she's by the fence barking, put a leash on, bring her away from the fence, and when she's able to not bark or at least look away for a second, then pull out your food, address the situation, and then work through the energy, and maybe you can get higher on that threshold, which is 10 feet, 5 feet, right up on the fence again. And then when you're on your walks, don't make it a requirement for her to say hi to every single person on the walk.
Actually, nobody for a while. No pressure, no people, 30 days minimum, and make it all about, like, basically what he said is utilize space to build tolerance. So you go towards someone and she starts looking a little tense. Maybe her ears go forward. Maybe she stiffens. Then you turn, go in the other direction, pressure off. Go 10 to 20 feet, sit food, turn around, go back towards that person again. I mean, the person might be long gone, but it's all about, you can do this in your front yard. So it's pressure on, pressure off. And it's kind of called, some dog trainers call it crittering, if you wanted to look that up online. But anyway, it's just a technique where you're trying to build tolerance with your dog, working under threshold. If your dog barks, you just need to get out of there till they stop, honestly, right now.
What about advocating for when eventually they get past the 30 days and then people want to pet the dog? Would you allow them to walk up and pet your dog, or do you advocate first?
So you always advocate, always, even if your dog is super friendly, you want structure around that. So it's always stop and sit, settle down, read the situation. Do you even want some sort of greeting to happen? Then release your dog to say hi. You'll have more likelihood of being able to get control of your dog. But we just don't do that in our neighborhoods. We tell people they can do it, but we don't, because we want our dogs to care about us and not be seeking value in other things. But this is different. I think this is more of your dog is starting to get hormonal and starting to kind of come into his own. And dogs see space as territory. So if they've been allowed to run around the front yard and be cute and say hi to people through the fence or people who come into the gate, now you're starting to see what a dog is. and accidentally you've given them space because it hasn't been an issue. So now you're gonna have to pull back on that and add back in more structure. Okay.
I like that a lot. The spatial pressure and then guarding like a resource, which is that yard.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Okay, cool. So Ellen, wondering if I could ask another question. If you have another live, any tips? Our first night away visiting family with a 4-month-old Cocker Spaniel. We are taking his crate. We're going to try to stick to the same routine. Do you have do's and don'ts? So spending time away from family. My first don't is don't let that puppy walk into the new space and just and run around, even on leash. Just go wherever it wants to go. Don't let it guide you to every corner of the house, checking it out, and everybody petting them. I know that's what so many trainers say too. I mean, you can go online and that's what they all say is get your puppy comfortable in their new space. Let your new shelter dog roam around the house and get comfortable with all the areas it's gonna be in. No, because then they're immediately like, however I feel about this space, it's being nurtured. So jittery excitement, nervousness, whatever your puppy might be feeling gets dialed way up when you just let them say hi to everybody and wiggle throughout the house. It's stop and sit at door. Have food on you. Walk in calmly. Ignore your family at first. Be like, hey, let me just work with my puppy for just a second if they're not going to be in crate or something. And get your puppy's focus. Maybe do that spatial pressure stuff we were talking about with the other dog off your family. And you can hug your family and then your puppy jumps up and you're like, oh, nope, sit. Good food. If you want your puppy to know how to handle situations, then you have to train your puppy on knowing what to do in those situations. You can't say hi to family, let them jump all over, get all crazy with no guidance, because then you're gonna have that puppy's gonna be like that as a dog. So keep that in mind. I walk up to my mom, I start to give her a hug, my puppy jumps up, oh, no, sorry, sit, good. Hey mom, how's it going? Give me just a minute. And then walk around and work your puppy, and then put your puppy in crate, then give everybody all the hugs and everything. That's how I would go about the initial greeting. Do you have anything to add?
No, that was really good. I'm actually, I think I just learned something. No, she's basically telling you to set a tone. Whatever tone you set is going to be the tone that's more easily followed, but the minute that dog runs in there, jumping on everyone,
you're done.
Yeah.
You that's the culture you've cultivated. That's the environment, the way for the dog. The dog thinks this is how I do it every time.
And we've already mentioned place. I tell every client I have to bring a place with you.
Yeah.
Personally, I think a place cot. So if you ever look up on Amazon, dog cot, that's the best place you could ever use because it's got a raised level on it. And if you don't have that and you want to go like a restaurant or something, you still want a place, you can get little foldable beds from Roughwear. They make a really nice one that's for backpacking.
And if you don't want to do any of that right away, then just keep your puppy in their travel carrier and go ahead and put them in the room. They might whine or bark, but get everybody settled down, then bring out your puppy and work with them. Because honestly, 4-month-old puppy, it is your job for the next several months to teach your puppy how you want them to behave as an adult. And so you got to take advantage of this opportunity. And if you can't because you want to just relax with family, that's fine. I say the same thing for football games. I'm like, bring your puppy out, 10 minutes, work with them around everybody, yelling at the TV and having a good time, and then put them away and have a good time. So just kind of keep it.
I like that.
Keep it that way.
Options. Will you go one of yours?
Yep. Okay.
Or, no, give me that one. These are shorter. You take the long ones. I can't paraphrase.
I know you hate it. You hate the long ones. Okay. Tracy says, we found your channel and love it. Learned so much. Thank you. It's someone else who said that. 4-month-old Goldendoodle Milo. Super cute. Yes, I'm sure he is. I'm sure. Now we get to the but gets very excited when we're outside, struggles to pay attention to me or anyone in his family. He also won't do the stairs up or down. He'll jump off or he freezes. Okay, so let's first start with the excitement outside. 4-month-old Goldendoodle, yeah, of course. And just make sure he doesn't say hi to anyone. That way he cares more about you. He doesn't seek value in everything else. Like I'm working with a 2-year-old bulldog right now that literally won't go for a walk unless he sees a person he can pull to say hello.
I'm working with a Boston right now. It does the same exact thing.
Yeah, so don't do that. So don't let him say hi for a while. Make it all about you. Maybe, make sure you're walking him before your meals so he's a little bit more hungry. You get a little more leverage. 4-month-old, what else?
Struggles with paying attention to me. I also In those situations, if it's really bad, I'll actually pick the dog up. If they just anchor, and I'll move like 30, 40 feet away from the big distraction and then set him back down and start walking him. That's what I have to do with the Boston. Boston just will not walk at all. Pick him up, walk 20 feet past it, and now I've got a good pathway again. It's not about working them through it in the beginning. It's about getting leverage with your puppy and just teaching them how to walk.
How to move with you.
Yeah.
It's like do tons of turns. Just go out of your house. And I want you to spend your typical 20-minute walk just turning and stopping and sitting in front of your home and the 2 homes next to you. That's it. Just get your puppy moving with you. Move when I move, stop when I stop. That is your goal for that's your homework for the next couple of weeks. You can drive to the park and do it, but no more walks. Just do that. That way when you do see that person and you're like, okay, let's go, you've got the muscle memory to back it up. But if the dog has lost it so much and you know you've put in the work, then you can do what Sparky mentioned.
And we're not even exaggerating that. We literally do 2 to 3 weeks of let's go. We call it let's go work because we're basically teaching them follow pressure and learn how to follow our body language. We'll do a week inside, a week out front, and a week walking around the neighborhood doing the same thing.
Just turns, stop and sit. Okay, so the second part of that was the stairs. He's a little nervous going up and down. I would find a bigger set of stairs and as many sets of stairs as you can. So outside of a school, a library, not just in your home, and stairs that are closed. So if your stairs are open, you know, like when you step and you can see through the steps, those are really scary. So if you're using those, try to find closed off stairs and really guide him each one. If he's little, you could probably do a stop and sit on each one, or just quickly go up like 10 at least. If there's a set of big stairs, go up them and down, up them and down them over and over and over again. We're talking 10 times until he's tired of skipping a step or freezing up. Just play around. You know, anything that you struggle with for you guys at home, don't just do it once and then it's like, whew, we're good. No. You do it like 5-10 times.
And she mentioned 1 stair at a time, so that doesn't mean that you put the dog at the top, walk to the bottom with a really long leash and try to get them 1 step at a time.
Right with them.
Yeah, with them. And do you like to be on the side of them? I like to be in front of them, kind of down a few stairs.
If it's a puppy, I'm probably like right in front of them a little bit.
You're a target. You're something that they want to get to and motivate. But at one point, guys, there's a point where you can't motivate. You need to add a little bit of leash pressure and be there that if they trip down the first stair, you're there to kind of catch them to support so they don't build up a fear towards it, and then work them slowly down it. Move with them.
Here's an exception. So let's say that kind of pressure upsets your dog or puppy, just having you right in front of them. And so if that wasn't working for me, I would try to just be right next to them, stand up tall, take a deep breath, look forward, and be like, let's go. And just have a different type of more assertive leadership attitude towards it. If there's another dog that you know, a friend's dog, they will learn from their own species way faster than they will from us. So there's another little quick tip.
You get the good and the bad with that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Snacks with friends. I like snacks with friends too. That's nice. Will this work for a 1-year-old dog? Will what work?
That's in relation to your tug video.
So Sparky had a really great tug video that was on TikTok, and then it was also on Reels for Instagram. It showed how to wait the dog out, wait for the dog to release the toy, and then give it back to them with a verbal release word.
It will work for, sorry. Keep going.
I just wanted to give everybody context. Yeah. So this person has a 1-year-old dog, and they're wondering if it will work for their 1-year-old dog.
Yes, but it might be more intense with the 1-year-old dog.
So two hands, like wider tug toy, like a rope.
Locked into your
lock
ribs.
in. And
Really
you're bracing too.
You could even see with I think it was Blanton that I was working with. With Blanton, he's a little dude, but I still wasn't sitting low on the ground, scrunched over. I was up on my knees, chest back, locked in elbows. Little dude, but strong drive to pull. And I held tight. I waited him out. The minute he let it go, matched the hands, toy behind my back, arm in front, just to kind of create a little bit of spatial pressure. So if he did jump back at it, I was more prepped to block him, and then wait him out, calm, break.
And when you're like bracing, the whole point of our bracing is so there's no give. Because if the dog still has leverage,
they're still tugging.
They're still tugging. They think, oh hey, it's a little bit more of a challenge. So what I'll do is, especially just not having as much upper body strength, is I tuck my elbows in real tight and I brace. I'll even brace on the top of my thighs if I can, and I eat up the toy. So I eat it up closer to the face. This is assuming you don't have any issues with your dog biting, and then that way there's hardly any leverage for the dog. I just did this with a like almost 100-pound King Shepherd this morning, and I just froze, and he was like, well, this, I don't understand. And he just let it go and was just confused. And then I had to get him going again to like get the toy again, because he's like, well, this isn't fun. But that's how we like teaching drop it. It's a calm way to teach drop it. And if you look at if you go see like how to teach a Malinois to drop it, a lot of these sport dog people, that's what they suggest, because fast forward 6 months and all you do is you just go still and the dog out right away. Yeah, that's the goal. It's also
like an on-off practice. You're basically doing big energy on for the tug, off energy for the drop, pause, off, and then on energy for the tug again. So you're vastly changing. It's almost like you're in two different spectrums. No energy, crate, no energy, high energy.
Yeah.
So then when you're at the no, they drop instantly.
And frozen. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Is it okay to play tug when puppies are teething?
Absolutely. Just be gentle.
Little dogs, like a dog like Blanton, I think I may even mention in the video, I don't know if I had sound or not, thinking back to it, but if you have a dog that's small, you're just mainly giving a little bit of resistance. You're not pulling. Yeah. You're not moving the dog. You're not lifting.
That's a good distinction.
Small jaws, not very strong. Small teeth, not very strong. We're not trying to rip out teeth. We're just trying to give them a little bit of resistance, so it helps with the teething and like those sore gums.
And stop throwing it. If you're struggling getting your dog to drop a tug toy or a ball, stop throwing it. They will never get possession over it until they learn drop it. So it's literally give it back to them, actively move, drop it, give it back to them, actively move. Until that drop it is crisp, stop throwing it, because the dog is literally practicing to hunt prey. So you're building drive in the brain. So if you're trying to get your dog to drop it, then you're trying to get them calmer and more aware of what they're doing. So don't throw it yet. Wait to layer that on till you have a really good mouth open drop it. All right, cool. Whenever my dog gets something that he shouldn't, he runs with it, and it's extremely hard to get him from Zandra.
I was literally just about to mention, you could also have a leash on your dog when playing tug. This isn't the tug thing, but this is still have a leash on your dog when they're out of the crate or roaming around. And again, don't limit areas and don't ever chase.
Don't even bend down. So when you finally get them kind of cornered, calmly step on the leash, pick up the leash, turn, move away, pull them out of the corner, then put them in place, then try to do a trade for the toy or whatever you're doing.
Most of the time, if you just ignore the fact that they have something and you've just brought them back to a play spot or a place in general, they're gonna be like, well, I only took it because you chased me.
Yeah, no
fun. I think it's fun. I don't even like socks. I don't eat them. I just want the sock because I know you want the sock too.
Yeah.
So gives you leverage.
It's amazing how when you start to do that, they're just like, it's no fun anymore.
Unless you got a sock eating dog, though, then it's a little bit different.
That
then
is
you're
a little
doing
different.
more preventative. Like I got a neighbor whose dog ate like 30 socks over the dog's life, and she spent 30 grand on surgeries to remove them. They literally are just preventative. There's no chasing the dog down or not chasing them down. It's everything is dog proofed, and I don't say puppy proofed. It's dog a 9-year-old dog. Yeah. It's dog proofed completely. Yeah. So preventative, not reactive for that situation if they're eating this stuff.
All right, guys, we're going to move on to our comment questions. Thank you very much for those. We've got Shirar, 4-month-old retriever. I have a bike trailer. I've spent the first week acclimating her to it, and she goes in and comes out on command, as well as being able to stay inside and settle. However, she starts barking constantly as I start to move with the bike.
I have an idea. I'm gonna let you layer onto it though.
Yeah.
So
I have to think about this one.
Are you on the bike or are you pushing the bike? Because I think if you're on the bike, that's probably less controlled. But if you're standing on the ground, just physically pushing the bike a little bit.
Oh yeah, then you could work with her.
With a small little gap in the, like, not the whole thing unzipped, but just a small gap. And as you're moving it, put the hand in there and give her a treat. Or sorry, as you're moving the bike, just start rewarding her. Good.
Not when she's barking. It's to be preventative. It's to like you move a little, pause, good, food. Yeah.
And eventually maybe you can start moving at like a slow clip, rewarding as you go.
Yeah.
A little bit faster as you go. Eventually dog settles and you can see that body language go from 2, sitting on the rump, a little bit more relaxed, and then maybe I'll go for 10, 15 feet, pause, reward a couple times, and just wait.
Yeah.
Let my dog calm down again. So play around.
4 months old, really young, you know, golden retrievers. She can't run with you yet next to the bike. I would say make sure you've done something with her really active to drain her energy before you put her in there. Mental and physical. So not just running her with fetch, because that's not a lot of mental work. So we want maybe 10 minutes fetch and drop it, and sit between each drop it, and then 10 minutes of controlled, slower, follow me work with obedience, sit down, place, all of that mixed in, and then do your bike. That way we're working on the dog first, the dog's mental and physical state, before trying to do this. I do think at some point you're gonna need a no thrown in there, some kind of no. It could be a little bounce of the box that it's in, the what did she call it? I think she called it a trailer. Yeah, trailer. It could be a pet corrector, but I promise you, if you start with that and you don't do any of the other stuff we mentioned, the puppy's just going to push through it and start to bark again. So you do need all aspects of this in order to have a chance at being successful. So, okay, cool. Let's see if I can squeeze in another one. And is it okay to play tug when puppies are, we got that one, teething. We just answered that one.
We have more on this paper.
Oh, we do? We have more?
Both of these I don't think we've gone over.
If they know, drop it. If they know, if they know give, do you teach drop it the same way? Or do you have them give and let it fall? Give is interchangeable with drop it. It can mean the same thing. That's perfectly fine. That's just our words, you know, use your words. I have another word, we use out, which means move away. Don't just drop it, but move away. So, you know, do your own thing, have your own word. Do we have more on here?
We've just got one more.
Oh, okay.
From M. Scott, any advice for nail clipping?
For puppies?
For young puppies, for me it's counter conditioning. She probably has more. She does a lot more of the nail clipping stuff than I do.
I hate nail clipping. I've had some bad experiences with it.
I take my dog to the vet or the groomer. Yeah. I spend $15
and you call yourself a trainer.
My dog, I don't clip her nails. I either let her run on the concrete, which will naturally shave them down a little bit.
Hers, that's not every dog though. It depends on the dog.
It's true.
I've
but
noticed that.
If I'm gonna get them trimmed, I go to the groomer. I make sure I'm with someone that has done many, many different nails, and my dog has black nails, which means it's really hard to see the quick, and they tend to get bloodied more often than not. And I make sure I have an experienced groomer. I also don't do nail clippers. I do Dremels.
Dremel.
Yeah, so much easier, and you can go zzz.
The thing is, you have to condition the noise. The noise is really scary.
Yeah, sure, it can be
so,
scary.
Not to push your question off, but I bet you can find tons of stuff on YouTube about how to condition a puppy to the Dremel. Dremel, I think.
Would it be counter conditioning? How to counter condition?
How to condition? Counter condition is like changing the dog's perception. Maybe the dog likes it, and it's just conditioning.
I don't think she'd be asking the question.
I have no idea if I said that right. I'm just being argumentative.
If you're,
I have no idea.
That's what that feels like.
I have no idea what I even said.
Man,
I don't know if it meant anything.
If your dog isn't comfortable with it, look up counter conditioning videos. If you're just trying to get your dog comfortable with it, and maybe Bethany was right, then
you're desensitizing the noise of the Dremel, and then I like to take the back of the Dremel and tap lightly on the toes once the puppy, and I'm holding in the lap and rubbing belly and then going to the paw and all that stuff, and then I might do a few swipes. There's a lot to this. There's a lot of stages. Go slow. If your puppy squirms, don't force it. You stay firm and calm, let your puppy settle, then move to the next step. It's really, I actually like this kind of stuff because it's really nuanced about reading the dog and not pushing the dog, and it's a lot of give and take. It's very relationship based. That's why I like this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, there is nothing wrong with just getting someone else to do it if that's available in your area. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. Join us next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Put your questions in direct messages or join us live for your comments, or there's little question pop-up thingies and IG stories, and same with TikTok, and thank you very much.
Bye.
This is a really good one. They say, hi there, we have a...
Hide waddle.
I was gonna do it.
No, I took it.
I was gonna do it.
I've been waiting for like 5 minutes to steal that from her.
I've been practicing.
So gratifying.
I've been practicing how to say it.
Say it, Bethan.
Hide wattle.
Oh.
Mine was better. Puppy, since 8 days ago. He's so cute, but he's chewing everything. At the moment, we have a bench puppy box. When he's in there, he's a wonderful boy. He plays with his toys, eats, sleeps. He's really good. But every time he's out, he chews everything. What can we do? It would be so nice to have him running around the house and sitting with us without destroying everything. He will be 10 weeks old next Sunday. Okay. It's a baby.
Yeah.
You literally have a baby running around your house, except faster than an actual baby, teething, and with no diaper on. Imagine that. Imagine if a baby had sharp teeth and was running around the home with no diaper, what that would look like.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not ready for it yet.
Not ready.
Too young. We just got to build up to it. So
Yeah.
a lot of what we've
Takes
gone
a while.
over,
Takes
the
a while.
playpen setup, the leash on the harness, monitored always just so you have control of the situation.
When he says what we went over, he means listen to previous questions.
Yeah, I think in the very beginning, the first or the second one,
Yeah.
we went over using the leash, using the harness.
Yeah.
Bethany's not a huge fan of the playpen, but it sounds like you got a puppy box, which maybe is similar to that.
Yeah.
If it's not, a pin setup or some kind of area for the puppy
Yeah.
to hang out in with the toys, not the sleeping area,
Yeah.
but like a play area. That's kind of what we're chatting about.
Think of it this way. Your job as a puppy owner is to prep your puppy to eventually be mature enough to be able to be out once the teething phase is over and they calm down. So what do you represent to your puppy? Is it mostly excitement and attention? Because then even at 6 months old, your puppy's going to run wild and go crazy in the house. So definitely go ahead and start to cultivate the type of energy that you want now in your adult dog. So if you want a calmer family dog, these breeds can be really, really driven. You know, they're hunting breeds. So go ahead as much as you can, cultivate structure and associate you and the family with calmness and training and mental work, with more of the limited fetch and running around and things like that. And that way, when your puppy does reach maturity where they can learn how to stay, because at 10 weeks old, they can't learn how to stay. When they do reach that point, you'll have your relationship in check and it won't be as difficult, basically. What do you think?
I like it. The only thing I'd add is a lot of times when people have their puppy out roaming, they kind of give them that freedom to make a mistake so then they can correct it or redirect it.
Yeah.
That's also what the leash on the harness gives you.
Yeah.
Instead of them making a mistake and then you correcting the puppy who's told probably has no idea what's going on, or you're yelling no, 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 and your no loses
You're
concept.
feeding that fire, yeah.
You are. You're feeding more energy. You're feeding more energy into it. And the more energy it has, the crazier the puppy gets. Be preventive. That leash on is so you could hold it, attach it to yourself, or be ready to grab it in a moment's notice, or step on it if the puppy tries to bolt out a door,
Step on the
run
leash.
towards something.
Step on the leash, not the puppy.
Not the puppy. Did we need that clarification?
I felt like I needed the clarification. I just like
What kind of people are watching this?
I just like pointing out things that you say that could be clearer.
Don't step on the puppy, guys. I don't know why I'm clarifying this, but yeah, it's needed apparently.
Yes,
So.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, next question.